computer.
Okay.
All right, great, awesome. So we're getting started. We're going to leave our videos on. My name is Cato Thompson. I work in the Career Development Center. I specifically work in the area of student employment, helping our students look for and start their on-campus job experience here at App State. And I'm joined by Jennifer Perry. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thanks, Cato. My name is Jennifer Perry. I actually go by JP, and I am the career coach for the Beaver College of Health Sciences and also the liaison with student athletics and student wellness. And I have all the tools and sort of the skills to help you, not all of them, but a good portion of them, to help you kind of make this transition into the job search. And Cato will focus a little bit more on the part-time. I will focus a little bit more on the full-time, but they're all related. And so this is all a very good thing to help you sort of jump that hurdle and get started, which is the biggest thing.
Yeah, all of the skills that JP is going to share are important, not just for your current job search of part-time employment, immediate employment, but these are all skills that you should be developing and practicing now while you're a student to help prepare you for when you graduate. So everything that we talk about today is applicable for, your current employment, but then your future endeavors beyond app.
Okay. So when you're looking for a job, you need to think about what is important, right? Is it a job or is it a career? Because it's very important, especially for long-term job searches, but the same thing goes with part-time. What is important to you, right? What are your values? What are your work values? What location do you want to stay in Boone? Or if you're willing to do a part-time job, would you do it off campus or would it just be on campus? If you're looking to graduate, are you going to go back to your hometown, or are you willing to open up to a wider array of locations? And if you are, you need to target the locations. Don't do nationwide searches because salaries vary from different areas, right? So if you have an idea of where you want to live, target a location, because then you can do the research. You need to look at the size of the organization. Do you want to be a very big fish in a very tiny pond? Or do you want to be a smaller fish in a more medium-sized pond? It all makes a difference. You also need to think about the work structure. A lot of students like to have those jobs that tend to be a little bit more 9 to 5. Well, those tend to be a little bit harder sometimes to get initially, but they're absolutely out there and we can help you with that. What salary are you looking for? Have you thought about what you're going to need in which area? Now, our part-time students as well, what is a fair wage? Do you understand what current people are paying in the area? You should, so that you're not being undervalued. What are your must-haves versus your wants? Like my wants would be dogs all over the place, right? But in most positions that I have, I'm not allowed to have my dog. So that's a want, that's not a must-have. There's also work-life balance, right? You want to think about that. Some jobs you end up taking home with you. Even part-time jobs, sometimes you can end up taking home with you. So it's very important to keep all of these things in mind as you're sort of starting your job search, okay? What is important to you and what things you want to focus on?
So I wanted to speak specifically on your search for off-campus employment. Now, I know my screen is kind of messy with a bunch of images and a lot of text, but this I just wanted to pull together to help inspire you and start your search for off-campus employment, specifically in the Boone area. And I think about Boone. I think about, growing up, coming here as a child, this may have been why you chose Appalachian, was your family used to come up here in vacation. Think about all the businesses that cater to the tourists, the hospitality industry, the outdoor recreation, the wedding industry, and then all those businesses that are then year round that then support those industries. Grocery store, food and beverage, retail, all these local employers in the high country are very beneficial that we have year round and rely on students that go to Appalachian State. So when you're searching for employment in Boone, I'm going to talk more about Handshake, our career services platform that we utilize, and both on and off campus jobs are accessible. But I suggest looking on your local chamber of commerce, whether you live in Boone or maybe say you have an apartment in Blowing Rock or Banner Elk. Check out this Chamber of Commerce website. I know the Boone Chamber of Commerce is very active. And I also did a search this morning on the Watauga Democrat, and I did a quick search on Indeed for part-time jobs in the Boone community, and I came up with 25 jobs just of this morning. And JP knows I was actually doing this during staff meeting. While we were in the middle of another meeting, I pulled together all these employers. So I do know Boonies, that's right next door to us, that took over that old Hardee's, is a brand new place. They're hiring wait staff, part-time social media directors, kitchen staff. Appalachian Ski Mountain is hiring for all seasonal positions. Beach Mountain Ski Resort is also hiring for positions, seasonal, and also a part-time admin assistant. Samaritan's Purse, they have a job posted on Handshake. So does App Ski Mountain. Samaritan's Purse, they're hiring seasonal folks to help out with Operation Christmas Child. That may be something that interests you. Sagebrush is hiring wait staff, dishwashers. Tanger Outlets, I pulled together the Gap, Chico, Hanes Brand, Ralph Lauren, Carter, American Eagle, and Talbot's are all hiring. Tuesday Morning across from New Market. I mean, I know I'm naming off a bunch of restaurants in the area. Chipotle, Krispy Kreme, Panera Bread, Sandy's Cafe in Newland, Insomnia Cookies, which is like right here on King Street. They're hiring shift leaders, baker, front counter, delivery drivers, Lowe's Hardware, Advance Auto, Harris Teeter, Walgreens, CVS, Cracker Barrel, Old Navy in the mall, Boone Rentals to help out with event delivery. I mean, JP, I'm naming a ton of them. Hampton Inn and Suites, La Quinta. Oh, by the way, Pet Prairie Dog Retreat. If you want to be a kennel assistant and have your dreams of working with dogs, you actually can do that as part-time.
And actually, Pet Prairie is one of the best places to board your dog. If you ever want to board your dog there, you need to like have a 6-month advance notice.
Oh, do you take your baby there? Is that what
I was actually, I left before my other girls passed. They were set to go there.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I want to remind students too that looking at the chamber, if you're looking for a part-time job that you think, you know, there's part-time jobs to put a little cash in your money, and then there's a part-time job that maybe give you a little bit more experience that you could transferable skills. You're going to get transferable skills from any of the positions that Cato indicated. But if you're looking for something more targeted, you can use those Chamber of Commerce to discover industries that you didn't even know existed in Boone. Mm-hmm. We have a outdoor equipment company here in Boone. I did not know that. We used to have a candy maker in Boone. I did not know that. So you really want to check it out, because even if you cannot find a paid employment, maybe you can find your internship opportunity through there. Like create your own opportunities to better highlight your skills and abilities by sending that prospecting email and asking them if they're looking for any internship help, be it for credit or non-credit. We just work with the faculty. So thank you. Yes.
I thought this was really great too, and I'll bring it up on Handshake, but when I mentioned Advance Auto Parts, they had listed retail parts professional part-time, delivery driver part-time, but then they also had a sales leadership summer intern for 2021. So you are right, JP. I mean, these local employers, they may not, post on Handshake directly. They may utilize different services in the area. And so I know, and like JP mentioned, the Boone Chamber job posting page is very, very commonly looked at and utilized a lot. Sorry, let me go back to widening the screen. So this was just, this scattered screen was just a way to like inspire you of you starting your journey of looking for off-campus employment in the Boone area. And some tips that I just wanted to gather when you're looking for off-campus employment. And like what JP mentioned, do your research on these businesses, follow their social media platform, look at their engagement online, and also thinking about where we are in our current climate, everything that's happening in terms of COVID, social justice, equality. Are some of these businesses partners that you want to be a part of? Like, I think of how A&B is one of our state partners for North Carolina, or Equality for North Carolina. That's something that's really important to me. And I think about our businesses who have partnered with KPASA to ensure that we're partnering with our Latinx community to make our area, the High Country, more inclusive for our Latinx citizens that live here, our residents that live here. Foggy Books, I think it's Foggy Books. Yeah, Foggy Pine Books, that's right on King Street. they have books and all their proceeds go towards Black Lives Matter initiatives. So I know that not all of these businesses might be a part of some sort of organization, but when you're doing research about them, this may come up. And then when you're interviewing with them, mention it. Say, I really liked how you all are a part of this right now, or I saw on your social media page that you all are active with this event. I love that y'all are helping strengthen the Boone community. And this is all things that you should be doing when you're looking for full-time employment and doing research on employers, and when you're looking for positions beyond Appalachian. These are things that you don't have to wait to do. You should be exercising this right now for part-time jobs.
It's, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
But
JP,
I also,
go on.
I wanted to also mention too that sometimes when you reach out to a prospective employer, they may not have posted jobs. You know, sometimes they have a need that they haven't even sort of thought about. So especially with the internships, if your faculty can approve the program of study and making sure that you hit all those learning goals, you can create an internship with an organization that hasn't worked with the university before. There's some steps, but it's not in any way difficult. Again, faculty would be your first start because they have to approve the curriculum. But it's really important to remember too that you can sometimes reach out to these people and just say, I'm really interested in working in this industry. I would love to learn more about your organization. I would love to interview you, like do an informational interview, or maybe just have a tour of your facility because this is something I'm really passionate about, and get to know them. Because if there is a job posting in the future and they know that you're interested, they're going to reach out.
Exactly.
So I had a student shadow a friend of hers working at a hospital she really wanted to work at, and her friend cleared it to make sure it was okay. And she shadowed in just an administrative position within a hospital. And they loved her because she took that initiative and they got to know her. And let me tell you, she's working at that hospital. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you really do have to step a little bit out of your comfort zone to get those positions that you really, 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 really want.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes it's a little easy. It can be a little more challenging than just stepping into a store, filling out the application and getting hired on the spot. Because we've all had that happen as well.
Yeah. Well, I think about when I was a student, and I actually started summer after my first year. I started working in the fudge shop at Grandfather Mountain. So no career goals by any means, but I got to eat sweets all summer. But that led me to whenever I was in a time of declaring a major and I was looking at sustainable development and the initiatives that Grandfather Mountain participates in. And then I talked to the main office about doing an internship with them. So an internship that they have never even done before. They created a sustainability initiatives intern position from the little part-time person who was working in the fudge shop. I did that. And then after it was completed, I was doing environmental education in animal husbandry and animal habitats. And that started whenever I started working, with animals and my exposure working at the museum by working in the fudge shop at Grandfather Mountain when I was a sophomore. So that was not anything that I had ever even anticipated, being a student needing a quick part-time job over the summer while I was taking a summer class. So you never know what a part-time job is going to lead into. An internship for credit, a full-time career, it may take you in an entirely different direction. So
I have to say that actually working in a fudge shop does have transferable skills that employers are looking for, right?
Does.
The ability to communicate to diverse populations, right?
Yes.
Because you got people coming from all over the place to visit.
Yep.
To work in a fast-paced environment, to ensure that customers are being attended to and having a pleasant experience so that they can come back. Those are all those skills, those situational awareness to make sure that you're taking care of everybody. So yes.
Workplace safety. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Sometimes we have to get help from other people like JP, who's a career coach, to really help us think about and reflect on all the things that we learn, even in part-time jobs that we sometimes think like aren't that important, or I don't think it's relevant to put on my resume. There really is. And that's what JP is for. She's awesome at that. See, I even struggle with that sometimes. Other things I was just going to mention on this slide, when you're applying, you must have a resume. Turn one in, and JP is going to touch more on our resources and resume review. There is no reason why you should apply for a job, even if they have an application, why you can't submit a resume with it. That definitely shows your interest in the position, that you are taking the initiative, that you are serious about the job, that you want to highlight the skills that you have and the skills that you've already gained. Even if it's not work experience, you still have maybe volunteer, lots of different experience that is transferable into the workplace. And I always recommend on or off campus, provide your availability. Your class schedule, especially this fall, is not an accurate representation of your availability to work. You may have asynchronous classes that aren't actually meeting during that scheduled time, or you may have tutoring that's not necessarily on the schedule, but you have to consider as a part of your availability or not so much availability. And so I think it's more accurate when you are submitting your interest to give your hours and days of the week availability to work, not just giving them your class schedule. That doesn't really help me assess when students are available to work. Be professional in your email communication, phone call, or if available, your in-person visit to turn in your resume. I know things look a little bit different right now, but just even if you're not coming in person, there's no reason why you can't be professional over email or over the phone. And we also have interviewing tips through the Career Development Center that can help you practice that, because I know it's hard. I stumble, and we have to practice it more and more. Um, Also, just one other thing, JP, I know we need to move on, but when interviewing, ask about time off policy. That's really big in the Boone area, because even if on-campus employment, the university might close at certain times and of the year based on break, these employers in the greater Boone community may need help and may still need their students when they're trying to go home. So based on your circumstances, you may not be anticipating going home for at least all of break. And you may be available to work in Boone and help out at App Ski Mountain or different places. That will help expand your ability to secure these jobs when reviewing, what is your availability, but also what is their time off policy, how much more in advance you need to give them if you need to take a shift off or a weekend off. What is it that they need help with, and the availability that they're looking for when you're applying? That is important.
Absolutely.
Okay. So one other thing I wanted to mention, especially if you're currently in a position where you're switching between jobs, you're looking for maybe like quick one-time pay opportunities. The Office of Student Employment manages a job posting board. It's called our Odd Jobs Google group. You can subscribe from the student employment homepage, super easy. It's just studentemployment.appstate.edu, or honestly, just type in student employment app state on Google. It's going to come right up. And on the home screen, when you click that link, you'll subscribe to the job board and receive notices about yard work, babysitting, nannying, snow shovel, dog walking. I hired my dog sitter, and that's like the only person that I use. I don't know about you, JP. I don't know if you're intending to hire a student soon from it.
I've noticed though that a lot of that doctor's office that was looking for part-time help
Yeah.
advertised it through the odd jobs. Families looking for CNA or in-home care are also advertising them through odd jobs, because it's a single entity. They don't want to make a handshake account because it feels awkward to them. So I do think everyone should review that and take a look at it, because I do think there are some opportunities that can get missed if you're not paying attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a gentleman who has a art restoration business in Blowing Rock, and he worked with us to advertise an odd job to hire a student to help out with restoration projects. He hired a criminal justice student who then, over time and exposure of working in this not exhibit, but this business of helping with art restoration, that led him into a career with the federal government, working with different agencies for art theft and recovery. And because he was working with an employer in Blowing Rock that did art restoration. And so that gentleman called me and wanted to thank me and asked about how can we post this job again to hire another student. So you never know what's going to come through on odd jobs. It may be that you land a reoccurring job through what is typically used for a one-time pay service. And this is just a job posting board. So we don't make any representation on behalf of the employer or on behalf of you as the student. Imagine if you were to see a job on Facebook or Craigslist, very similar. We do vet the postings that come through, But I always recommend meeting those individuals in a public space before reporting to a home for work. Never give out your social security number or date of birth when inquiring about a job. Those are a few things I discourage of. Sometimes there are scams that are out there that will bombard you. So I just want you to be aware. And if ever you are in doubt, feel free to forward something to us, whether or not it was on behalf of App State. If it came to your App State email, or if you see something, you're like, is this reputable? Our staff are happy to do research and see, give it a go. I think it's okay. Or no, that seems fishy. I would cease all communication with this individual. But we manage that job posting board. We encourage for you to use it. There's a lot of cool opportunities that are out there. But again, still be professional in your communication with those community members here in the Boone area. Again, provide your resume, your availability. I think that helps them when you're communicating with them, especially over the phone. A lot of these folks are elderly, and you may be helping out one of our retired faculty members or someone very prominent in the Boone community. There's some really cool connections through there. Last little thing I wanted to mention, for part-time on-campus employment, JP, I feel like I'm doing a ton of talking. If
you're good.
Still looking for on-campus employment specifically, these are the folks that are hiring that currently have jobs posted on Handshake. Student engagement and leadership are the folks that oversee the student union. University Recreation is still hiring students for their various facilities. If you live on campus, you can apply for the jobs in university housing. You must live on campus. They are currently recruiting night assistants and student housekeepers. And the App Fund call center, you don't have to live on campus for that one. But for that position, those students work in the call center, calling alum, asking for contributions, funding to Appalachian State. That's a really cool, great job. A former student employee of App is actually now full-time employed at Appalachian, overseeing this area. So it was really cool to see how for Lainey, what was a part-time on-campus job became a full-time commitment to this university for her. So I think that's really cool with the call center. And just be prepared when you apply for these jobs on Handshake. You will likely have an interview over the phone or over Zoom and not in person. So again, utilizing the Career Development Center and our big interview resources to practice those skills and sharpen them. And also too, we have some work study positions through the Office of Financial Aid and Student Employment that are advertised on Handshake. So if you are interested, it does make up a smaller percentage of jobs on campus. You will likely see about 4 or 5 work study on campus jobs currently posted on Handshake. If you do not already have a work study award but are interested, feel free to email me your contact information. I'm the only Cato at App. It's Cato. Well, I'm going to give you my email address at the end, but CatoAN@appstate.edu. Give me your name, your banner, and we can inquire and see if you're eligible for the work study program. And I'm going to turn it over to JP.
So when you are job searching, I want you to utilize your network. And who is your network? Everyone is your network. Okay. 70% of job seekers find employment through someone they know. Because having someone who can recommend you really makes a huge difference to an employer, because it takes a lot of risk off the table. You got to think about it from an employer's standpoint, right? Someone is vouching that you are a reliable, responsible person who will work well within that group. That takes a huge amount off. So that's a very helpful thing, which is why I want to make 2 points. One, if the person who's recommending you is not somebody whose work ethic you are great, maybe don't have them help you. That may not help you if they're not the hardest worker that you know. And also, as a new person entering the field, do not, if you're working in a brand new job and you're someone you know wants to work there and you're not 100% confident, you don't have to recommend somebody if you're not confident, because that you'll own that hire for the rest of the time with that organization. Mm-hmm. So it's really important to think of those both ways, okay? So yes, you utilize your network. Make sure you utilize your network smartly. Okay, there we go.
Awesome. Thanks. You're so much quicker on your slides.
Sorry. Where do we connect with other people? Okay, well, we have job fairs and expos, right? Right now they're virtual. Nowhere else in your life will you actually get to stand in front of people who are actively trying to hire you. You don't even have to look. They're there. They have job postings, they have open positions they're trying to fill, and they have come to the university to talk to students. So please take advantage of these opportunities. They're amazing opportunities. I have students who have met employers in their sophomore year and are working for them now as graduates from App State because they built a great relationship. Okay, so it's really important. I had students who went to the virtual fair and they have internships already locked down for summer and they have jobs already locked down for when they leave. So it's really important. Professional organizations, right? If you are outdoors, any outdoor organizations, if you are in social work, any social work organizations, right? They are going to be posting. I know I used to work in financial aid, and so this North Carolina State Financial Aid Association still has my email, and they still send me job listings within the financial aid realm. So all of those professional organizations are a great way to do that because then you can get access to their open jobs. Chamber of Commerce, again, volunteer. If you really, really, really want to work someplace, volunteer there first, especially if it is someplace where you can, but sometimes you can volunteer in a different way, like asking to do a job shadow for a day, asking to do an informational interview. There are gap year options, right? So if you're not 100% sure like what your work values are, where you want to be, there are some great opportunities out there that you can get some work experience under your belt to better able sort of assist you making those decisions going forward. AmeriCorps, healthcorps.org, Peace Corps. We've got, there's so many various options. There are international ones. I have a list. If anyone is interested, I'm happy to share that list. Mine are sort of focused more on the health related because I am the Beaver College of Health Sciences. But the information is out there. If you just put gap year, you will find information out there. Informational interviews are very powerful. Like I said, one of my students was able to get by shadowing and doing an informational interview of a friend. And then the internships. Like Cato said, her working at the fudge shop led to an amazing internship, which led to more within her degree program. Somebody who did an odd job met an art restoration expert, which was able to give them a leg up going into a criminal justice field because they now have an expertise that not many people have, right? And so, this is, if I was a criminal justice major right now who was interested in art and that kind of work, I would be calling Cato right now saying, I want to work.
Who is that guy? Yeah.
Who is that guy?
I can't look him up and find him for you. I can.
Yes. And that's what connection is.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a connection. Cato is offering help. Cato has a connection. Sorry, that's a hard thing to say.
That's okay.
To someone who may be able to help you. I may have a connection. So there's many different ways to connect. One of those ways is, again, LinkedIn, which I don't have on a bullet. So I apologize. We kind of married two searches together or two presentations together. But LinkedIn is an online networking network. And it's really, really well defined. You can connect with me, right? And anyone you connect with, anyone I'm connected with, you're automatically now connected to. And you can use that to find better results. You can look at alumni who live in a particular city and see what they studied and see where they're working. So definitely you want to utilize all these different tools that are at your disposal. So we didn't have these things when I was younger, so I couldn't really search for jobs on the web. I am that old. So it's something to think about. Do your research. Where to connect with these people. They have alumni centers, have virtual connects in each city. So if App State doesn't have one where you're living, look in the surrounding cities. Maybe there's one there, or maybe you can create one. And again, what are you going to do? You're going to connect with other people who share a background with you. They've all gone to the same university. So those are the kind of things I want you all to think about. Okay, yeah. Cato?
Great. That's awesome.
Okay. Target your resume and cover letter. I know this looks like a colored mess right now, right? But this is the job description on the left, and this is a resume on the right. So the job description tells me what they're looking for. And on the resume, I've highlighted, these are all the bullets that we could use, right, to see that would be the best ones for her to use for this particular job. And we highlighted them to make sure we didn't miss anything. And also, if you look at the last bullet under the job description, they're giving us a lot of information in that bullet, right? The desired skills, outgoing, enthusiastic, organized, and most enjoy working with people and collaborative, patient and understanding. Right there are some very, very strong power words that you could use in the descriptions of your work experiences that that if you are somebody who is highly organized better be one of the power words, that you're utilizing for a bullet. So from one of your jobs, if you did something that really used those skills, make sure it's highlighted under that particular position in that way. Because again, you can target it towards a particular position. And so you can see, like we had talking about the light one was proficient computer capabilities. And so I looked at Banner database, right? Because she worked on Banner. She also did, let's see, some web focus, gold book, modules or something like that. She did a lot of stuff I didn't know. But again, that's the kind of things that you're doing. You want to make sure that when you look at a job, does your resume say you can do that job? And does your cover letter say you can do that job? Because if not, they do not have the time or the inclination to try to figure out if you're capable of doing that. So it's very important that you target that resume. And so we will make this slide presentation also available as a PDF if you want to look at this. But yes, you want to, again, make sure that you're hitting all the high points that they're asking for in that job description on that resume.
Definitely.
Okay,
Awesome.
track your applications, part-time or full-time. What you don't want to do is answer the phone and have somebody mention their name and you not catch who they're from and you don't know where you're interviewing because you answered the phone while you're in the middle of class or something like that. It is better to track your jobs on a sheet of paper. I actually, when I was full-time job searching, I had a notebook like this, one of those 50-cent notebooks, composition notebooks, and I would put the date, the name of the job, the name of the person that was in charge of the job, which resume I sent, because again, I'm targeting my resume, which cover letter I sent, I want to make sure I bring in both that cover letter and that resume to that interview if I get an interview, and the date, and then I also have a date of projected follow-up. So if I think, give myself 2 weeks out, because sometimes it's hard, especially now with working virtually and going to school virtually, time gets confusing. So it's really good to know, I emailed it then and I want to follow up now. So you can keep that on your calendar. I have a little tracking sheet that you can use, but you can use anything that you want to. Give at least a week before you reach out to follow up. People are busy, busier than they anticipate sometimes, and so you don't want to be pushy. So a nice way to follow up is to, again, forward your email and say, I had applied to this position. I had not heard anything. I just wanted to forward your email in case there was any confusion. I look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure your voicemail is set up and has room to take the voicemail message. Okay. Because if you're in class, please do not answer the phone because you won't be able to get the information that you need. And it's not going to be comfortable. Let them leave a message and call them back when you are prepared with a piece of paper and a pencil and time. Is your outgoing message professional? Very important to do, right? Got to change it for now. And check your email daily. Okay, if you've given them your email and your phone number to reach you, you better check both daily because you don't know. Some people prefer email, some people prefer voice calling people directly. So it's really important. I can tell you I was an executive recruiter, and if that voicemail was not set up, I moved on. How am I supposed to reach somebody if they don't even have the voicemail set up? Now, I'm a little bit more forgiving if the voicemail gets full because my father has a tendency to leave very long rambling messages and that can fill my voicemail very quickly. So I will definitely try again. But if the voicemail isn't even set up, that person just shows me that they don't respect my time. And so I'm going to move on. Now, if they pick it up on the first ring and they're ready to go, even better. But I do think utilize the tools that you have, and voicemail is a great tool because if you're trying to get a phone number and the correct spelling of someone's name, much better to have it on the voicemail so you can listen to it several times and then Google the correct spelling if you have to.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so here's some more helpful tips. Actually, this is one of Cato's slides, but I want to remind you to utilize the Career Development Center. I am a career coach. I'm here to help you. There are career coaches assigned to each individual college. And we also have a virtual career studio. That's Monday through Thursday from 2 to 4, where we have trained people to help you with resumes, cover letters, interviewing tips. But then you also can use Handshake to make a one-on-one appointment with your career coach. So it's really important that you take advantage of the people that are here who want to help you. So make an appointment, talk to us. We can help you strengthen your resume. We can help you prepare you for those interviews. We can help you make your LinkedIn a little bit stronger, teach you how to use your LinkedIn a little bit stronger. I do suggest you check out the LinkedIn presentation that we have posted here, a recording of, because that's a great way to kind of learn the different tips and tricks. And also the big interview, as Cato mentioned, a lot of graduate schools and employers are using a pre-recorded interview module for their pre-interviewing process. And if you're not prepared to do that, you're gonna you're not even going to get past the pre-interviewing process, because there is a technique to doing online interviewing.
There is. Yes. Yeah. And there's so much information that we've shared and so many resources that we have that I understand it can be kind of overwhelming at times. But, if you just go to careers.appstate.edu, that's our landing platform for the Career Development Center. It has everything about Career Studio, big interview, all of our staff that are there to meet with you, handshake to log in, everything about our virtual career fairs, other career meetups that we're doing of different topics. All of these things that JP have mentioned are right on our website. And because student employment is an aspect of the Career Development Center, also our page is on there as well too about the part-time employment. But really, regardless of if you're watching this because you need immediate part-time employment or you're helping prepare for your job search for the future, we're here to help you. We want to help you now. We want to help you after you graduate. We don't want you to wait until you graduate, but we have everything here for you available. So I know it's a lot to take in, but careers.appstate.edu, it's going to get you to everything that you need. I like that we worked so diligently this summer in providing so many additional resources, working remotely, and we've also added pages for our students and navigating employers and organizations to help our students that identify, with a particular community, race, if they are a member of the LGBT community. We've expanded our resources that we have out there to help our students. And so I almost love of the services that we've expanded and been able to include in response to COVID. And so everything that you need is right on here. You don't even have to come to our office, which is really great. But if ever you need us, we'll share with that as well too. But I want to give this back to JP really quickly.
Just wanted to say that I know searching for a job can be stressful, right? So the biggest thing is make a plan. Figure out what's important to you, where you want to work, what does that look like, where is it? And it takes, for your full-time career job search, it has been said that it's basically a month for every $10,000 in salary, okay? It takes a while because you're going to have to get some traction. But sometimes it's an average, right? So some people could be instantaneous, some people it may take longer. But the trick is stay positive.
Yeah.
Stay positive, ask for help when you need it, and lean on that network you have. That's your friends, your family, your coworkers, your ex-supervisors, your career coaches, your faculty, and your all the other people on this campus who are really trying very hard to help you.
Definitely. Oh, it's awesome. And if you ever need anything, you have our contact information. Again, I'm Cato. JP. I mean, we've had a privilege of doing this video and love that we've recorded it so you can rewind it and watch us however many times you need to. So thank you so much for joining us.